Okay, today we are doing lesson 11.2, Say It Out Loud. So, English is kind of a funny language. As we all know, there's lots of words that don't always sound like some of the lessons that we've been taught in our earlier grades, with words spelled in ways that might be challenging to kind of automatically recognize, like some of the other ones that you know and you know the patterns with. Sometimes, if there's a word for which you think you don't know the meaning, it could actually just be the case that you haven't heard it spoke. Um, Not knowing how to pronounce it right away is really the only thing that you're probably struggling with. You can stop and try to say the word out, like one way, and then try another, like use different vowels, because we all know, like a vowel can be an ah or an a, for example, for an a. So there's many different ways, and we learn all those wonderful little tricks, but sometimes when those tricks don't work and those words don't sound right, try some other things. Don't be afraid to try. You can stop and try to say the word one way and then another, changing the sound of the vowels and breaking up the syllables into different places. Like the word strategies is one that's really always kind of been a problem for me. Strategies, that's not what it looks like to me. So sometimes I have to go back and kind of reevaluate where the syllables are and where that A stands. Is it a long A or is it a short A? You may surprise yourself and say it in the way that makes you think, huh, I do know that word. So when you're sounding out these different words, you come across one that you recognize as you're saying it, then you'll know automatically that that is the right word for you. Okay, so we are going to try this word here. I have a little chart here for you. This is the word. I want to hear you try it for me. Just try this word right here.
Float.
Okay. Try to say it in a little bit different way. Maybe change some of the things that we just talked about, like a syllable or a vowel sound.
Flute.
Flute. Is that a word that sounds familiar to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just by changing that sound, then you know that, oh, that is a word that I recognize. That must be what it is. Okay, let's try a different word, and we'll try some of these other tricks. Let's do the word that I struggle with, strategies. Okay, it's right here. Try different vowel sounds in the word strategy. Here is the word strategy. Look at this word right here. How would you pronounce this word? Try it.
Strategies.
Strategies. That is exactly what it looks like, because that E is following that A. So you would think that that A is going to say its name. Well, in this circumstances, it doesn't. So let's try to break up the syllables. Okay, so can you say this with the syllables broke up a little bit? Try that. Stra. At. Okay, so stra. Uh-huh. Exactly. So that brings that A sound out as a short vowel, right? So that kind of changes it to a word that you might be familiar with, because you're familiar with that word, but you didn't know what it was when you just skimmed over it, right? Okay. Make sure that another trick you can do is put the emphasis on a word, maybe a different part, like you put it stir, ah. I mean, if that doesn't work out for you, that did that time, but if it doesn't, you could go back and maybe put the emphasis at the end or the beginning if you've done the opposite. Okay, now ask yourself at the end, after